Oh, hey, y'all. Trust you are well today. Man, oh, man, what a weekend, huh? Oh, what a Sunday afternoon. What a Sunday afternoon. Wow. We went to church. And, and it was great. We had a great service. It was good talking to our church family and whatever, and stopped and got some groceries, came on home, had lunch, and came in to take a little nap, and the whole thing changed. Wow. We thought it would happen, but then, let me turn that off. Then it happened. Joe Biden decided that he was not going to run for president. Wow. And then minutes later, he had endorsed Kamala Harris. Now, I'm old enough to remember that Kamala Harris ran for president in 2016. And I'm old enough to remember that she didn't get to our first primary because there was simply no monetary support for her campaign. And I know for sure, I know personally, that money is the blood of campaigns. And when the money dries up, the campaign dies. And that's what happened to her. I mean, there just wasn't the support from the right people in the right way. Which still mystifies me, other than, and I hate to use, I'm not going to use that phrase. I'm not going to use the phrase. Other than a straight up pandering move, why she was selected as vice president. Because frankly, she didn't bring any money to the Biden campaign, that's for sure. Well, maybe because they had enough money. I don't know. But she was going to bring, supposedly, the black vote. The only problem with that is, in my way of thinking, please forgive me, that Kamala Harris isn't black in the same way that I am. And Kamala Harris isn't black in the same way that a lot of you are. She is not. And you don't have to be. Here's the thing, you don't have to be black. I don't care. But this portrayal of this supposedly African-American woman, because a lot of people still believe that Kamala Harris is African-American. They do. She is not. Her parents are not from here. Her mother's Indian. Kamala grew up Indian, following all the Indian religious rituals and ceremonies, and she's not black. And the thing that bothers me is that she's being promoted and touted as this black woman. When she was elected senator, it was pretty cool because everybody was excited about her being one of the first Indian senators, right? Asian American. And then when she was, when she got into the vice president's office, she was, touted as being this first African American woman, vice president, which she is not. Again, the problem isn't that she's not black. That's not really the problem. The problem is that she's being touted as being African American when she is not. And frankly, that ought to just piss you off. As a black woman in America, you should be furious. But you're not. And you gotta wonder why not. This is the same Attorney General of California that spent a lot of time and a lot of notoriety putting a lot of black men, into prison for small marijuana crimes. In California, of all places. Golly. Last time I was in California, the whole damn place smelled like weed. I ain't gonna lie to you. It just did. We stayed in Los Angeles in the 1010 Wilshire, and golly, we got out of the elevator on the 8th floor, I guess, and boy, I was like, whoo. I had thought that somebody had just gotten out of the elevator smoking weed, but no, I woke up in the morning, went outside, smelled like weed. Went downstairs in the lobby, smelled like weed. Went out in the streets, came back, went up back upstairs, smelled like weed. I'm like, dang, this whole damn town smells like weed. Kamala Harris putting people in jail. Small marijuana offenses. Happy to. Glad to. But, that's just what it was, right? Well, we woke up from our nap on Sunday, and there she was. Now, here's another part. Here's another set of things to consider. A lot of people voted for Joe Biden. A lot of Democrats voted for Joe Biden. Like my friend KrisAnne Hall has a video out that I will allude to on my YouTube channel, letting people know that the primaries, and I've been trying to tell you all this for a long time, the primaries are not a civic election. The primaries are an election of a private club, a private entity, Republican or Democrat, doesn't matter, selecting their candidate. That's what it is. There's no civic, legal, nothing. That's what the primaries are. And the way that we do primaries, we shouldn't even be doing. So much we shouldn't be doing. Trying to use a hammer like a screwdriver and wondering why it doesn't work. In any case, there's so many of those delegates that have been promised that are not getting to choose their candidate. They thought they were choosing their candidate, but they are not. Will they be considered? Now, there's nothing. Now, this private club is under no legal compunction to live up to their rules. They are not. They are under no legal compunction to do that. But it would seem to me that most thinking people would go, wait a minute. I voted for Joe Biden. And if I voted for Joe Biden, that's the dude that I wanted to be my candidate for president. I could have voted for Marianne Williamson or somebody else, but I didn't. How are you telling me now that my candidate, my nominee, is Kamala Harris? How are you telling me this? Because if I knew that it wasn't going to be Joe Biden, I would have maybe chosen someone else. Nobody was going to choose Marianne Williamson, but anyway, it could have been someone else. And now the elites from the top echelon of the Democrat Party, they're telling the rank and file Democrats that voted for Joe Biden to be their nominee that, sorry, screw that. Your nominee is now Kamala Harris. Some people, especially the people who are, part of the cabal, are going to go, okay. But it would seem to me that others would go, wait, no. That hardly seems like a democratic process. It hardly seems like a democratic process. The same people who pride themselves on, we're trying to fight for our democracy. Well, what's happening to them right now, that I think a lot of them are going to go ahead and accept, is hardly a democratic process. You vote for one person and we give you this person and this is what you got. Wow. And I'm sure other people have thought of this. I'm smarter than most, but I'm not the smartest for sure. My gosh. Now, will I think there'll be any repercussions? Will this stuff show up at the Democrat convention? Probably not. Because what Democrats are good at doing is falling in the line. Because if you have a Marxist regime, what you need is a lot of people who will just fall in the line. And Democrats are really super good at doing just that. Just falling in the line and doing what they're told. So it's going to be very, very interesting as things wear on, if we're going to see any repercussions from this move that the Democrats are trying to pull off. They're trying to give the Democrats the old switcheroo. Joe Biden? Yeah, Joe Biden, because for months, between the media and the pundits, Joe Biden's fine. He's fine. He's doing great. He's sharp as a tack. When you're in a meeting with him, boy, you better be on. You better be on it. He's like. And then the debate, and oh crap, everybody has an oh crap moment, because it's obvious at the debate he is not the Joe Biden that people were, thinking he was. And it's interesting that there were actually some people who were surprised. That's the crazy part to me. We've been watching Joe Biden for forever. As a matter of fact, but the problem is they were being told, especially recently, before the debate, that all these videotapes of Joe Biden were being deceptively edited. They were not. They were coming up with reasons why he seemed to be wandering around. Why did he seem to be wandering? Because he was wandering around. Right? It is absolutely, positively incredible that the Democrats were putting on this show for Joe Biden, when all of us knew where President Biden was, where he was in his health, where he seemed to be everywhere else. It's incredible. And now it's just, after the debate, it's all the pundits and the media and other members of the Democrat Party saying he's got to go, we got to switch him out, blah blah blah. He's going to ensure that Trump wins, blah 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 blah. And it seemed like there was some pushback early by Biden and his family and his most loyal supporters, people like Harry Sisson, paid jerk. Anyway, but now he's out, and this is who you get. Now, this is not the person you wanted. Why? Because how can I say that? Because you had a chance to pick this one. And you didn't. But this is the one they're giving to you. Democrats. Leftists. Are you not seeing what's happening? This is fascism. This is socialism. This is a communist dictator who says, I've been duly elected in all 8 of my elections because I don't have an opponent. Oh, yeah, that part. This is what you're seeing. How are you going to react? What are you going to do? I'm curious. All Alrighty, we got to get out of here, make room for somebody else. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.